Okay, this is Dr. Mark Carriage again with another video on group therapy. This is for professionals only. This is group part 9 related techniques. Okay, I am Dr. Mark Carriage again. I've been around for 45 years or so. Got my bachelor's in 79 at SIU in psychology. I got my master's in counseling at SLU, which stands for St. Louis U for folks that are not around the St. Louis Metro East area. Got it in 1981. Got my PhD in 85 in counseling psychology, internship at Texas Tech in 84 to 85. So I completed a counseling psychology internship at Texas Tech 84 to 85. Call me Dr. Mark, call me Dr. C, whatever. But I've been in the prison system for 40 years, consulting at TCI, which is Transitional Center Incorporated at Cloquet Heights, Illinois, in the Metro East area. Um, Also, I'm working in a private practice for Chad Welch and at Metro East Counseling. Here's the important part. I can be reached at mcarich@aol.com. And Matt Adams is helping me through this YouTubing experience. He is not present today. Okay, here's some more non kind of intrusive set of tactics that in group therapy. Solution focused approaches is the primary set we're looking at. There are a number of derivatives, variations, and et cetera, et cetera. And many of these approaches, models, tactics. I think it's really an important set to have in your of interventions. We'll know that there are numerous set of techniques, like there are numerous set of group therapies these days with each approach and such. And some of these, you're going to say, well, they're individual. Yeah, they are individualized techniques, but you use them in group. You get the group involved, either assignment wise or get the group involved processing that person's stuff. So, bottom line, you can use them individually or in group. Um, it all starts because it's all the whole freaking thing is communication, if you will. So, with that in mind, there's different levels of intervention, as I mentioned in the other videos. Um, Depends on what you're trying to do. Phil Rich introduced three different levels. One is the group member himself or herself or itself. Um, Interpersonal, that means maybe two or more members are targeted, and then the entire group. Intensity goes from low, like some superficial intensity type stuff, to moderate, which is more stronger than you're blowing the client away or the group away with high intensity. So there's different types, like conceptual or verbal or interpersonal, um, directing different group members. Experiential is some nonverbal activity or exercise or evoking some emotional response, like art therapy, drama, movement. I'm not big into art therapy. I'm not big into the official stuff. I've had some training in it. However, I do use the role play pieces of all that. And movement and dance, I'm not into that. I like it. them downstairs, and I draw stick people. That's the limit of my art therapy. But I've seen it in action. I've seen it. I know it works well. You can do it in group or again individualized. The structure. That's when you're doing a specific activity, form of task assignments. In other words, you give a homework assignment, you come back in the group and process it, or workbook exercises, and including some role play. Okay, there's principles of delivering intervention, as I mentioned in the other videos. It's important to rehash this because you can commit this stuff to memory. You can commit this slide to memory, and I wanted to say all your woes will go away in therapy, but not really. It will does help you deliver interventions. Okay, first principle, really respect. Acknowledge the client no matter what they've done. And I have worked with serial killers and people that have done not so good things in their life, but you still acknowledge the client as a unique person. You differentiate their problem, which I spent 40 years in corrections, so a lot of deviant issues, versus their worth. If you're still doing the shame based, I want to call it garbage, dump the garbage. It's time to get rid of the garbage, put it in the can, and go to more positive psychology. Okay, rapport. You got to connect with the client. You have that alliance with the client, psychological contact, as they used to say. But the connection, you have to initiate the connection, maintain it throughout the process. Passion. I refer to it as empathetic understanding of the client and the clients within the group. Flexibility means you're pliable. You have ability to adapt. In other words, if you use an intervention, it didn't work, don't cry over it. Just utilize it, which is in the next principle towards the client's goals. That's the utilization principle. That's the hallmark of Milton Erickson. These couple of things. Actually, all this is the hallmark of Adler and Milton Erickson, along with Rogers, except the utilization principle Rogers didn't use. However, the point is being flexible enough to adapt to the situation of what's going on. Responsivity, being responsive to the client's learning style, personality, what's going on in the situation, etc. Okay, on in terms of delivery of intervention delivery, there's a few things. One, you set the goal. Two, rapport with the client always. Three, develop a contextual frame. No, you got to have some kind of context that the intervention is going to make sense. Select different messages you're trying to send to the client, because let's face it, as Miller, Hubble, and Lambert and Duncan indicated, that there's a lot of white snow. At least Duncan indicated that 13% is what we uh, know. There's a lot of noise in therapy. So anyway, I don't want to get off into all that, but the point is, know what you're trying to do, know the context and what messages you want to send to the intervention. Select the intervention, deliver it, and utilize the outcome, no matter what the outcome is. Say if the intervention really flopped, oh, oh well, don't cry in your soup. Just utilize the. Okay, we're going to talk about solution focused tactics. I really think this is important. I can't emphasize on whatever therapeutic. And to me, it's a set of interventions. I know there's solution focused therapies and abbreviated whatever, this and that. I'm highlighting uh, interventions. So, uh, we're going to be talking about the famous miracle question method. Rikers did it before anybody else did it. He did it before these people were alive. Okay, The miracle question. Really, the same thing as Rudolf Dreiker's The Question. Um, the question is, if you didn't have the problem, what would be the difference? Oh, Dreiker's would use it a lot to sort out a physical versus psychological issue. To me, it's about the same. But um, actually, I list a whole bunch of people at the bottom that involved, but Desages, Kim Insu Berg, and Scott Miller. Scott's up in, they're all deceased except for Scott. He's up in the Chicago area. I thought Yvonne Dolan was up in the Chicago area, and Bill O'Hanlon, I thought was in New Mexico.